we've looked at third-party support because we've got, among other things, two different instances of SAP ECC in our landscape. One is on EHP4 and the other one is on EHP8. Both will be migrated over time on SAP S4. The current implementation speed, unfortunately, will bring us after December 2025, which is essentially the time by which our support for our payroll systems would come to an end. Faced with essentially concerns on direct costs and operational risks, we essentially started looking at alternatives. And this is when André Desroches introduced me to the possibility of third-party support for our ECC instances.
So the factor that led us to consider Spinnaker Support, as Stefan mentioned, we're looking for alternatives. So we look at third-party support, and we've built a list of everyone that provided that service. And then we refined the list because not that many offer payroll and tax updates. Well, you know your competitors, so I'm guessing you know who we met. We performed RFP with all those retained on our list, held multiple sessions in Montreal, covering all aspects of SAP. So application, custom code, security, methodology, coverage, interconnected applications, and many others. Spinnaker was the finalist, and we closed the contract language within a two-day in-person session in Montreal. And so the work can start ASAP because we wanted to start early on this project.
There was a number of reasons why we've chosen Spinnaker over the competitor. Obviously, one of the key factor was the ease of discussion. Throughout the formal RFP that we conducted, we felt it was easy to work with Spinnaker folks, starting from initial discussions, the presentation that took place, and essentially throughout the negotiation that we conducted in parallel with the two finalists. Following the RFP, the onboarding activities was also conducted easily. So I'd say probably the number one reason why we ended up choosing Spinnaker was because of, let's call it, the ease of use. You know, having the opportunity to have a direct touch point access with your founder and CEO, Matt Stava, further settled the deal.
Well, the interaction between SAP and Spinnaker has been kept to minimal. In fact, there's been no interaction per se between SAP and Spinnaker. Although SAP was aware of the changes that was coming, we did the official announcement as late as possible, so on the last week before we had to renew. So it was seamless in terms of support on the onboarding, but it was still a lot of work and planning and activities to do the onboarding per se.
You know, be able to conduct a parallel testing between the support being provided by SAP and the support being provided by Spinnaker. Results were fantastic, were stellar. It was a perfect match, essentially, which obviously increased our confidence towards next year.
On the onboarding process, we had a few elements. Onboard archiving was the main one. So we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of time to perform the archiving of notes and executables from SAP. Spinnaker took over the download using BRP name accounts so we can protect or control intellectual property, and downloaded everything that BRP was entitled to, resulting in over 1 million files and 4 terabytes of data. Our ask was to complete 75% of that by September 30th, date by which we had to announce to SAP that we were moving out of support. And that was smashed with a result of 95% download completed. And we continued that till December 31st because we were allowed to have those last files.
Having a partner, a strong partner like Spinnaker that can ensure the viability of our core system. I mean, this is, you know, we operate our entire business on our ECC instances. So knowing that you guys are there certainly increase our, you know, we sleep better at night knowing you're there. So let me put it that way.
We have extensively customized our ECC environment over the last 25 years. We're over 35,000 custom objects in one of the environment, over 25,000 custom objects in the other one. So having this code now being supported will help both our MS providers and ourselves to improve in our application, to improve our application.
You know, moving from SAP Note applications as performed for decades, and having someone create codes to fix in our development environment is not as easy as it sounds. So certainly change management is important, especially if you evolve in an environment when there's multiple stakeholders involved.
So as for leveraging in the future, we will learn how to work together and then look into how we can leverage Spinnaker knowledge and expertise on our different projects and endeavor.
I'd say at the end of the day, what really made a difference towards you guys is the ease of use, and maybe that's a simple way to put it, but the interactions we've had with you throughout this whole process, and since we've formalized our relationship, things have been going as planned and very smoothly. So not only did that make a difference in choosing Spinnaker, but also makes us confident that this will be fruitful relationships for years to come.